When you think about movies, we all think about Judy Garland. This sweetheart of the silver screen, who was elegantly born under the name Frances Ethel Gum, was famous for her talent and her ability to do things well. Including these things are her talented ability to act, sing, dance, and vaudeville, a term no longer used anywhere for any reason. Despite growing up in a family of actors and musicians, Garland also went on to act and sing. She toured the country, namely America, along with her sisters. Thankfully, we barely know their names, and they were never in The Wizard of Oz or anything else, unlike Garland, the only sister who was in those things, and so much more. Garland rose to fame after she became famous in several films. The reason for this was signing a record deal with MGM Studies, the studio that launched the careers of other actors like Clark Gable and Pal, the dog who played Lassie. Being only 13 years old, Garland was nearly half the age of other actors who were twice as old as her. Nevertheless, she was fulfilling her dream of being an actress at an age when most children in third world countries have never seen a skyscraper. During her time at MGM, Garland, who by this point was going by the name Judy Garland, was starring in films and fulfilling the other contractual obligations she was obliged to fulfill per her MGM contract. Some of these things included also singing and the occasional dance scene. Judy, whom of which was becoming more and more well known by her name and also by her appearance, both on and off the screen, began to grow in popularity to the point she starred alongside other actors of similar popularity. Mickey Rooney is such a one. Though many roles came and went in the movies that starred her, the big one that probably everyone knows her for is The Wizard of Oz, the film that helped her gain stardom but that none of her sisters was in. By this point, they had not sang together in a long time, and in the case of the other sisters, it showed. The Wizard of Oz was a runaway hit that reached from New York all the way to the States on the other side of the country, and even beyond, as many other countries began showing it, even in places where people don't speak English, the primary language of the film. From this point forward, Garland would be in many films, although T-Waz was the only film in which she starred alongside witches and monkeys. Many people think the Great Wizard was her paternal grandfather, but Judy never said that.
Who are you?
Among the other films she made, she did not sing that much to the surprise of her fans who expected her to sing more in them. Her vocal range, confusingly described online as that of a contralto, was indeed big. The songs she sang showed her range as she alternated between high and low notes, depending on the song and how she sang them. Truly, a star had been born, as one of her films would say with slightly different wording in the title. Sadly, her roles began to be less and less as she starred in fewer movies. According to her contract, from which she was eventually suspended from, Garland was forbade from appearing in movies she wasn't in, and as a result, she began to be sadly in fewer and fewer movies and films. Eventually, she wasn't in any at all. So why won't Hollywood cast this glamorous actress, singer, dancer, and vaudevillian? Is there something wrong with them regarding hiring her in movies to do these things? Well, as it turns out, Frances Ethel Judy Garland Gum sadly died in 1969 and is, therefore, no longer available for any parts in any movies at all. Despite recent efforts at recreating her look and voice through artificial intelligence, Judy Garland simply was, as the saying goes, incapable of being replicated through any of the tools at the disposal of modern science and technology. Fields of study Garland apparently never really knew that much about anyways. So to the mystery of why Hollywood doesn't use her much in movies anymore, the answer is they can't. And to be perfectly honest, they can't ever either. And that's why it's true. If you enjoyed this episode of Why It's True, then please make sure to like that subscribe button below. It's red, and you can't miss it just below the video. Please share with your friends also who want to know the real reason things have happened. Until next time, don't ask why it's true, say it like it's a fact.